ever ordered your Chinese food with no MSG, it's probably because you've heard it causes headaches or other potential health problems. Or you may even have experienced some symptoms yourself. But what exactly is MSG? And is it as bad as we've been led to believe? We're going to investigate how this mysterious additive may affect you. To help uncover the truth, Dr. Adam Rubin, molecular biologist. Adam, I know that MSG has been used for years as a flavor enhancer. I also know that a lot of people try to avoid it because of everything they've heard about headaches, nausea, blood pressure.
Well, Ted, this is the alleged offender. This is pure monosodium glutamate. And you're right, it is used as a flavor enhancer.
MSG was invented in 1908 when a Japanese scientist asked his wife for the secret to her delicious tangy soup. She told him the broth was the result of soaking a heavy kelp called kombu in hot water. He immediately got to work on isolating and replicating this flavor, and the result is the chemical we now refer to as MSG. Well, what kind of flavor does it have?
Well, you can try some.
For science. Actually, it tastes good. It tastes a little like bouillon. It's got a little meatiness, and it's also salty.
Yeah, that makes sense. Glutamate is an amino acid, and amino acids are the constituents of proteins. And monosodium glutamate is just an amino acid with some salt attached.
Well, that doesn't sound so threatening.
It's probably not. But in 1968, a doctor wrote to a medical journal talking about a syndrome he came down with after having a Chinese meal. He had a racing heart, sweats, numbness, a headache, and there's been a lot of speculation since then that MSG might have been the cause.
So wait, the now universal belief we seem to have that MSG causes health problems all began with one guy and a headache?
Yeah, pretty much. Fascinating.
But was he the first to document a real syndrome, or just the start of a widespread food myth? To explore this question a little more closely, we've come up with an experiment of our own. We've offered 30 people in good health a free lunch at the Golden Unicorn, a restaurant in New York's Chinatown. They were told that the Food Network wanted to get an idea of how they like certain dishes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for agreeing to participate. In a minute, the waiters will bring out your food. Enjoy your meal, and afterwards, we're just going to ask you a few questions. Bon appetit.
What our guests don't know is that everyone on the left side of the restaurant will be served a meal that has been seasoned with MSG, while the folks on the right will get the same food without MSG. Then we'll see who among our diners thinks they can tell whether they've been served MSG and reveal if they're correct. While our subjects eat their meals, half with MSG, half without, back in the kitchen, we're going to do a simple taste test to explore why people use MSG as a flavor enhancer. I've asked the chef here to prepare 2 plates of the same dish, one with MSG and one without, to see if we can tell the difference. Okay.
All right, well, they look very good.
They do.
I think the MSG's in that one.
I agree. Let's see what it says. Voila, we were right.
It has a fuller flavor. It's more savory.
Exactly. It turns out that MSG is a key component of what is known as umami flavor, also known as the 5th flavor, in addition to sweet, salty, sour, and bitter, the tastes that we can perceive on our palate. It's that savory, meaty taste you get from steak, mushrooms, or Parmesan cheese.
Almost makes me feel a little bad for the no MSG side of the room.
Now we'll go back to the dining room to see how our experiment is panning out. Our subjects are almost finished with their Chinese lunch. They are unaware that half of them ate food that was prepared with MSG and the other half did not. We've demonstrated that MSG does contribute to food's taste, but does it also contribute to those post-Chinese food headaches, fatigue, and nausea? We'll have the results of our experiment when Food Detectives returns. We are conducting an experiment to find out if there is any truth to the claim that consuming food cooked with monosodium glutamate, commonly known as MSG, causes symptoms like headaches or nausea. We've offered 30 healthy subjects a free lunch at the Golden Unicorn in New York City's Chinatown. You've probably heard that there is no such thing as a free lunch, and this is no exception. They don't know it yet, but they're part of our experiment. My name is Ted Allen. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed your meal.
Yeah, it was great.
Excellent. This actually is an experiment. Adam is actually a molecular biologist, and he assists us with our research. Dr. Adam?
Thank you, Ted. So, by show of hands, how many of you are familiar with the effects of MSG?
Almost everyone.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the room who specifically requests that their food in a restaurant be served without MSG?
And how many people are feeling the effects of MSG right now?
What the subjects don't know is that only half of them, those sitting on the left side of the room, have consumed MSG. Before we let them in on our little secret, let's talk to them about how they're feeling right now. We'll start with the left side of the room. These 15 subjects all ate food that did contain MSG, but only 3 of them reported feeling symptoms. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Can you tell me about your symptoms?
Like a headache in the back of my head.
Really? Dizziness or wooziness? Or...
Kind of, yeah.
Have you had problems with MSG before?
I try not to eat many additives to food, so...
Our subjects weren't given the option to hold the MSG today, and she was part of the group that consumed it. But is the monosodium glutamate responsible for her headache, or is it all in her head? Let's talk to the subjects sitting on the other side of the room. They consumed no MSG at all. Yet 5 of them tell us they're experiencing classic MSG symptoms like headaches, nausea, and fatigue. Our free lunch was a first date for these 2 subjects.
Hi.
So you said you were feeling some symptoms from MSG?
Yeah, a little bit. A really sharp headache. Definite stomach ache.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so lunch didn't agree with you either?
Well, my stomach doesn't hurt, and I don't have a headache, but I feel a little lightheaded.
So is this really a first date?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And it's going well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other than her severe nausea?
Yeah. But I usually have that effect on women.
Wow. I hope you feel better. Good luck to you. Thanks a lot. Well, we know it wasn't MSG making them feel queasy, but the combination of the placebo effect and first date nerves is enough to cause some gastrointestinal distress. Hi, I understand the food's not agreeing with you that well.
I felt the effects right away, actually, from MSG.
Really?
Yes.
Can you describe what the effects were?
I can. I get a tightness in my temples, kind of like a hammer effect.
Ooh.
I get a little pulsating under my eyes.
Is this a problem you've had for a long time?
I've had it since I'm a little kid with MSG, and I love Chinese food, so I'm very aware of it.
Now, she may have a headache, but MSG isn't the culprit, at least not today, because there wasn't any in her food. All right, folks, if I could please have your attention, Dr. Rubin has an announcement to make.
I can now reveal to you that the diners on the right half of the restaurant have not actually eaten any MSG.
So, our experiment has revealed that several of you reported symptoms that you thought were caused by MSG, even though you didn't eat any. And that leads us to believe that MSG, which has suffered from decades of really bad publicity, has gotten kind of a bad rap. All right, well, Adam, were you surprised by the results today?
Not really. I mean, what we saw today, it really lines up with all the research that's been done up until this point.
While there isn't conclusive research on the effects of MSG in people who suffer from chronic migraines, studies have clearly shown that it does not cause headaches or nausea in otherwise healthy people. So why do so many people believe MSG is making them sick? Well, eating food that is spicy or greasy, or simply overeating, can cause indigestion. It could also be a psychosomatic reaction. The subject believes that MSG makes them feel bad, and so they do. Meanwhile, the main component of MSG is found naturally in so many foods, from steak to mushrooms to Parmesan cheese.
Exactly. And you don't hear people complaining about steakhouse syndrome.
You know, you don't. And there you have it. Going to the trouble to avoid MSG is probably not worth the headache.